From a distance, this painting feels almost primitive, just color and a single line. Yet for centuries, painters tried to hide that very line. In classical painting, the contour of an object was not supposed to exist. So why did modern artists suddenly make the line visible? And how did that simple contour transform the entire history of painting? They say a painting is a window, but often it is a mirror. In these quiet galleries, we don't just observe history, we glimpse ourselves. Beneath the pigment, we search for the pulse of those who saw the world before us. Welcome to the place where we read what the canvas leaves unsaid. For most viewers, a line is the most basic element of drawing. But in painting, it hides a deeper philosophical problem. Where does an object end and the world begin? In academic painting, the answer was simple. Objects did not need outlines. Their boundaries emerged naturally through light and shadow. The soft transitions of chiaroscuro created the illusion of volume. The eye believed the painting was a window into reality. But at the end of the 19th century, something extraordinary happened. A few radical artists began to draw the border explicitly. They surrounded objects with bold lines, and in doing so, they revealed a truth painters had avoided for centuries. A painting is not a window. It is a surface. Before modernism, Western painting was dominated by illusionism. From the Renaissance to the 19th century, painters aimed to dissolve the surface of the canvas. Contours were softened. Edges melted into light. Volume emerged through gradients. This was the logic of Leonardo, Caravaggio, and the great academic masters. The contour existed, but it remained invisible. Even the Impressionists, who revolutionized color and perception, avoided strong outlines. Their forms dissolved into flickering brush strokes. Nature was atmosphere, not structure. But outside the academic world, another visual language was quietly evolving. In Japanese woodblock prints, figures were surrounded by strong contours. In posters, prints, and illustration, line was king. And soon, painters would begin to rediscover its power. At the crossroads of fine art and modern urban life stood a remarkable figure, Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec. In the vibrant nightlife of Montmartre, Lautrec created posters and paintings that captured the spirit of Paris. But his true innovation was the contour line. Inspired partly by Japanese prints and the logic of lithography, he began enclosing his figures with sweeping outlines, not timid lines, bold ones. Suddenly, dancers and singers appeared with striking silhouettes. Their personalities emerged not through detail, but through shape. In Lautrec's work, the line became a form of visual shorthand, a psychological signature. Lautrec's innovation opened a door, but it was the Fauves who pushed it open completely. At the center of this revolution stood Henri Matisse. For Matisse, the contour was not merely structural, it was energetic. In works like La Danse, the bodies of the dancers are defined by a simple line. Yet that line vibrates with tension. The colors are flat. Red bodies, blue sky, green earth. Without the contour, these colors would dissolve, but the line holds them together. It acts like a frame of energy. Matisse once spoke of the need for economy in art. A single line, a single color, and yet an entire emotion. Another artist would take the contour even further. His name was Pablo Picasso. In his early years, Picasso experimented with monumental outlines inspired by ancient Iberian sculpture. Figures gained a sculptural gravity. But in the 1930s, the line began to evolve again. In his portraits of Marie-Thérèse Walter, the contour becomes almost architectural. Faces are divided, forms intersect. A single black line can describe multiple perspectives at once. And perhaps the purest expression of Picasso's thinking appears in his famous single-line drawings. A camel, a dove, a penguin, each animal defined by one continuous line. No shading, no volume, just contour, and yet unmistakably alive. Picasso proved something radical. A line alone can describe mass, movement, and character. But why did these artists abandon the invisible contour of classical painting? The answer lies in a deeper crisis within art. By the early 20th century, painters no longer believed the canvas should imitate reality. Photography already did that. Instead, modern artists began asking a new question. What is painting in itself? The visible contour offered a bold answer. By drawing the border of objects explicitly, artists acknowledged the truth of the surface. Painting was not illusion. It was design. This shift marked the birth of modernism. The flatness of the canvas became a principle, and the line, once hidden, became the architect of visual thought. Today, the contour line is everywhere. In illustration, in graphic design, in animation, even in digital interfaces. What once shocked critics has become one of the most familiar visual languages of modern culture. But its significance goes far beyond style. When Lautrec, Matisse, and Picasso drew those bold outlines, they did more than simplify form. They changed the philosophical meaning of painting. They revealed the canvas as a constructed reality. And they reminded us of something profound. Sometimes the most powerful transformation in art comes from the simplest gesture. A single line, drawn with conviction.